We saw Qantas launch its campaign to support the yes case in the Voice referendum today. This is the first of the big corporate campaigns kicking off for the yes case. Qantas planes will carry the Yes 23 insignia, and yet there were some big names backing the move, lots of publicity and lots of political support.
The spirit of Australia says yes. And the spirit of Australia says yes because this will assist reconciliation in a practical way.
It's giving us as Australians the opportunity to come together.
I believe all Australians are for a fair go, and the national carrier is for a fair go.
Now, I don't know how effective this sort of thing will be. It could be counterproductive. It'll certainly lift awareness of the issue, but I don't think it'll help anyone make up their minds. Corporates need to be very careful about being seen to lecture people. What we need is more debate, less heat and more light, just to allow people to make up their own minds. And when it comes to this, whether you support an Indigenous voice or oppose it, there's one fascinating aspect of the debate so far that must be obvious to everyone. That is, there's one thing the Voice opponents, the no campaigners, don't want to talk about. Yeah, you guessed it. It's the Voice. The No campaign wants to talk about treaty, about reparations, about the Uluru statement, welcomes to country, every gripe and scare they can come up with, but not the Voice. I guess the Voice just isn't scary enough for the No campaign, so they have to come up with these other scares, find other aspects to frighten people. It's hardly a surprise that the Voice isn't scary because whether you support it or not, you know it's just an advisory body. So a Voice can't deliver a treaty. A Voice can't deliver reparations. Hell, a Voice can't even force welcomes to country on us. So the desperate attempts to scare voters with other issues just underscores how unthreatening the actual Voice would be. All the power would remain with Parliament. Only Parliament could deal with all these other issues and ideas. And just on this debate, there's a bloke who keeps writing about me in Quadrant magazine. His name is Peter O'Brien. He writes in his latest piece that he's obsessed with me, which is kind of weird, but it seems to be true. And he reckons I've invented claims about a no campaign conspiracy theory. Well, he's wrong, of course. There is a conspiracy theory and it dominated debate here and in the Australian and in the Daily Telegraph and even in Parliament last week. The theory is that people, including the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who have been talking about the Uluru statement from the heart, have been deceiving us when referring to the one-page, 439-word statement. Here's Peter Credlin on this.
Only that's not true. It's a lie. The Uluru Statement from the Heart is not a one-page document. It's actually 26 pages in all. And we only know that because the government's been forced to release the full document under Freedom of Information, FOI. And it's the whole 26 pages of the Uluru Statement from the Heart that every Australian should read, not the PM's sanitised one-pager, before they cast their vote in the upcoming referendum.
I mean, really? Apparently the real, secret, longer version has been kept secret all along by everyone. That's a conspiracy theory, and it gets even more sinister.
And it's this complete statement, all 26 pages, that the Prime Minister has declared time and time again that his government is committed to implementing in full.
Yeah, supposedly the Prime Minister kept this extra long Uluru statement secret and also signed up to everything mentioned in it. Now, as conspiracy theories go, this one is absurd because the Uluru statement was handed to a coalition government 6 years ago and because it's been known to be a one-page statement by everyone involved in politics for all that period. Also, those background papers and histories that Credlin and others are now pretending are the real full-length statement, well, they've been public the whole time too, in published reports and online. So no one needed an FOI to get hold of them. They are not a revelation, they are not the Uluru statement, and the government has not signed up to them. So the conspiracy falls over on all counts. Yet Credlin, who, as I said last week, is my long-time and respected colleague, is still running this argument. In the Sunday Telegraph yesterday, she wrote that all this means multi-billion-dollar reparations payments on top of money already spent on Indigenous issues, plus a rewriting of our history as a story of shame, saying it's all there in the full Uluru statement, voice, treaty, truth. And that's why there's been such a push to deny this story about the longer statement. A longer, full statement, that is bunkum. Reparations, billions of dollars, just rubbish. Interestingly, Credlin now calls the actual, real, authentic, only Uluru statement, the one-page one, she calls that benign. That's because it is. So I guess that's why we get people making up all this other stuff. I mean, they've made much of these comments by Indigenous leader Megan Davis.
It's very important for Australians to read the statement. And the statement is also much bigger. It's actually 18 pages.
But you've got to be honest, open and upfront with people. As I showed you last week, just let that tape run a little longer and you see the reality of what Professor Davis was saying. The statement, the Uluru statement, is one page. The rest is background papers and meeting summaries and the like.
It's very important for Australians to read the statement. And the statement is also much bigger. It's actually 18 pages. It has the top Uluru statement, but it also has a very lengthy Aboriginal history of Australia. So that's pulled from all the dialogues, and you can go and read that, but it's about how we see Australian history.
So it is time for the No camp to stop this nonsense, stop trying to deceive people. Perhaps apologise for promoting a conspiracy theory. Stop trying to scare people about treaties and reparations and whatever else. And perhaps, here's an idea, just talk about the voice, the actual proposition in front of us, the clear detail of the proposed constitutional change. I mean, is the constitutional change scary or not? Will it ruin the country or not? Clearly they mustn't think so, because they've stopped talking about it.